What if everything you know exists alongside something completely different? A parallel universe, possibly born from Oceana Dean's Metatron theory or CERN's quest to recreate the Big Bang. Where matter meets antimatter and time doesn't flow, it fractures. In a conscious splitting world shaped by algorithms, is your soul truly your own? This is more than science, this is your development in the process.
Space Storia, do you read me? We discovered something.
The parallel universe exists. There are a lot of theories out there. I'm going to be going over 3 theories. I'm going to be going over Oceana Dean's theory, the Golden Lake by Lisa Holt's theory, and I will also be going over CERN. And all of this is hopefully will help put some pieces together for you and help you throughout your development and seeing how you are multidimensional.
They have used creation physics in a perverted anti-Christos way that has literally allowed them to do something to this planet that created the shadow pattern in the first place.
Oceana Dean, also known as Anna Hayes, works with Chelonic science. So it's a framework of teachings that's pretty much is said to originate from a Guardian Alliance. And those teachings are metaphysical, multidimensional teachings. She proposes that there is a paranormal universe. There's distortion in certain galaxies. Specifically, we're going to talk about ours. There's Cathar grids for every single galaxy out there, for everything out there. This is just like a visual to help you understand the placement, in a sense, of things. If you were to look at this as our galactical blueprint, you would see that we are at Stargate 3, and then Metatron, where the Havoc started millions of years ago, was Stargate 11. And then in that Stargate, Metatron wanted to play God. Metatron was like a being, but a being at that level is a collective. So it's many beings that make that one being. It's a collective. That collective decided that they wanted to pretty much become God. They didn't want to die. They wanted to be immortal, and they wanted to keep this time galaxy. So because of the Havoc created by Metatron, it created a parallel universe where there's a lot of distortion. It's like a parasitic reality over there. We're said to have our shadow bodies over there, so like a part of ourselves is over there, and you got to heal yourself here to help that multidimensional you out there. She has a lot of theories: holographic time matrix, the parallel earths and time cycles, time vectors and split realities, phantom matrix, organic matrix, dimensional ascension, and DNA activation. Her book is called Voyagers, and it goes a lot into all of these things. It's very, very interesting.
Where you're going to discover something that's quite amazing.
So the next theory we're going to jump into is the Golden Lake by Lisa Holt. Lisa Holt is said to have her teachings from Pleiadian and Sirian teachings, and she uses them both. She takes those 2 teachings and she uses them to help heal. It's like developmental teachings that they've used from millions of years ago in other galaxies and stuff. What's helped other galaxies find their balance to bring then that parallel universe into synchronicity, because you got to balance it. Pleiadian's teachings emphasize the heart-centered wisdom, focus on the integration of the body, mind, spirit, and emotion. It offers a roadmap for transcending duality and awakening the human consciousness. This approach suggests that the parallel universes are not merely theoretical constructs, but integral. It's something you got to work within yourself, because that's what heals the parallel. It's all together simultaneously. As for the Sirian teachings, it provides a structural insight into the mechanics of these parallel realities. It's more of the concept of that quantum map. It illustrates the spaces between dimensions and the emotional energies that influence our navigation through them. And this framework pretty much implies that our emotional state and consciousness directly affect our experience, not only here, but in the parallel universe as well. Together, you're supposed to take these 2 teachings and help integrate yourself, and that will help all the multidimensional yous out there, and then they all meet in one timeline. CERN's theory on parallel universe. In the quest to recreate the Big Bang, scientists at CERN unlock doors not just to particles, but to realities where matter and antimatter collide and time fractures. CERN, the European Organization for the Nuclear Research, doesn't officially claim that parallel universes exist, but some of the theoretical physics explored at CERN, particularly through the Large Hadron Collider, the LHC, opens the door to the possibility. CERN studies why the universe contains more matter than antimatter using machines like the antimatter factory. Some theories suggest that the antimatter might have been siphoned off into another universe after the Big Bang. Again, it's just hinting at parallel realities or the multiverse. When you think of CERN, you can kind of think of the Amazing Spider-Man. Miles is fighting for them not to pretty much use this machine. Well, he's fighting for a lot of things, but they're using this machine that's bringing in all the Spider-Mans. All these multiverses are opening because that's messing with particles. CERN started in 1954. They started doing experiments. They used this LHC machine to smash particles together at near light speeds to look for evidence of particles escaping into other dimensions, which would support the idea of parallel universe. And they realized that when these particles are smashing together, it's creating new particles. When those new particles are created, they also create a antimatter particle, but the antimatter particle is disappearing. So the Big Bang happens, creates all these new galaxies, but some galaxies were created that are antimatter and they're gone. They're siphoned off. Nobody knows what happens, and that's what's considered in some theories as well the parallel universes, the ones that cannot be seen but are there. CERN has done a number of different studies, such as trying to learn about extra dimensions, trying to understand mini black holes. So far, there have been no mini black holes detected, what we've been told, and a theoretical goal of theirs is to create tiny black holes. And the reason they're trying to create tiny black holes is because if it's successful, it could indicate that there's presence of extra dimensions, that gravity is leaking into other universes, and that particles can travel between dimensions, kind of, tied parallel realities. They also study the multiverse hypothesis. While CERN doesn't officially endorse the multiverse or parallel universes, many scientists associate with CERN, explore it as a possibility. CERN doesn't claim that it knows that there's parallel realities or parallel universes, but they are studying it. So I think that's very interesting. That tells you something there. They're curious. Things get created and things are disappearing on them when they're created too. Humanity gets more and more curious, but I wonder where that curiosity will lead us to. Is it our own doom and we've been doing this cycle for millions of years and we don't know? Every time we're getting closer to maybe recreating that Big Bang, we wipe ourselves right back out and then we do it all over again. Who knows? What if your thoughts weren't entirely yours? For decades, governments have explored how to fracture the mind through trauma, suggestion, repetition, MK Ultra, and that was all just the beginning. When the psyche is overwhelmed, it doesn't break, it splits. We're going to be talking about splitting the consciousness. This has been methods that's been used for hundreds, if not thousands of years in all of humanity. How the government programs split the human consciousness. First, we have the psychological programming, things such as MK Ultra. Government programs like MK Ultra were based on breaking and reprogramming the mind. The technique it uses is trauma-based programming. That way it can create multiple personality states. And also they use drug, hypnosis, sensory overload, and ultra shock to make suggestions in those states, or also kind of leave them in a blank slate, like kind of trying to wipe them out to put in new thoughts and new theories into their mind. The goal is to create alter egos. It splits the consciousness, harder for the person to make decisions on their own and be their own person. It's kind of like making them soulless almost, in a sense, stripping them from everything to just implement what you want in that person. There's also, as many of us know, the mass media and social conditioning, such as TV, social media, news cycles. It creates low awareness and mental fragmentation, and it's a constant exposure to fear and conflicting information, and also the dopamine reward. You see things, you like it, you feel good. This creates cognitive dissonance, mental fatigue, and split focus, also known as ADHD in some people, just like that attention deficit where it's very difficult to focus. They're creating that. They're trying to create that. But there's hope. We'll get to all that, so don't worry. There's also the metaphysical fragmentation. For metaphysical fragmentation, it's from a spiritual or energy perspective, consciousness can be split across timelines or dimensions. Government programs may use rituals, frequencies, and energetic manipulation to get the results they want out of individuals, also trying to create, like I mentioned earlier, soulless human beings. Time merging. Multiple timelines or versions of reality are beginning to blend together. Think of timelines like parallel roads, each one slightly different. In a time merge, those roads start to overlap. So why it happens, collective consciousness is evolving. There's energetic shifts on Earth. Some say it's due to cosmic forces, also technology like CERN, and people are waking up. People are becoming aware of their multi-dimensional selves. Sometimes they say like the signs of time merging when you have deja vu, Mandela effect, a reality glitch, meeting people you felt like you've already known. These are kind of indications that you've been here before or have just done this or are on the same timeline. There's all kinds of things going on there simultaneously. The multidimensional you heal yourself here, you'll heal yourself in multiple levels, in multiple places. Time merging is the expansion of everything, and then the bottleneck theory is that compression of everything, trying to shove everything into the bottle. You're integrating yourself and that expands. It expands across timeline. Reclaiming fractured consciousness is the core of awakening, and it ties everything together, from time merging to trauma healing to escaping the bottleneck. How do you reclaim your consciousness? Well, first, notice that you're fractured if you are. Recognizing maybe you're feeling lost, maybe you're feeling there's a disconnect, maybe there's memory gaps, emotional numbness, or looping thoughts. Ask the question, where do I feel split? Where do I feel scattered? And then work in those areas little by little every single day, and be in your present moment as much as possible. You will get the hang of it. Little by little, you will fix your fractured mind. And 2, you heal through your integration. Don't try to erase the past. You cannot erase the past. You can't change the pain you have created, but what you can do is integrate the pain. Understand it, accept it. Don't feel shameful for the things you've done wrong. Just fix it and do better next time. Use your shadow work, inner child healing, trauma-informed therapy, or energy clearing. Revisit painful memories, not to relive them, but to reconnect with that part of you that got lost there. And invite those pieces of yourself to a conscious, loving home back into yourself, lovingly, without shame. Do conscious timeline work. You exist on many different timelines, and you need to choose one, the one that you know is the best version of yourself. And you are going to step into that role and do that role, because that role will not just come to you. You will walk into that role by choosing that role every single second of every single day. It's not about becoming somebody new. It's about remembering who you always have been. You're not broken. You are multidimensional, and piece by piece, you are coming back together. Keep doing everything you got to do to get to where you got to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I also left some links in the description down below. If you're interested in any of the books or what I was discussing, you can find some information right down there. Peace.
Space Storia, do you read me?